So today I'm working on this is the tensioner pulley for the secondary belt on the John Deere 212. I guess this is day 15 of the great adventure. I know it's been a hell of a lot more than 15 days that I've been heading this thing, but anyway. Problem I was running into, or have been fighting here lately, is not being able to keep the belts at the correct tension, and then having problems with the variator going out of adjustment and everything else. And it's come down to where one of the biggest culprits I found was in this tensioner arm. And I found, I'll show it to you here, this is the bolt that holds the arm onto the transaxle, and you can see where it's severely worn down right here, and it had when it was on the thing it would flop back and forth. With that much it would move 1 inch to 2 inches side to side in the thing, just due to flop. And then the bore that this goes into was also extremely worn, which is kind of surprising to me because the thing only moves up and down probably 15 to 20 degrees, which the amount of wear that was on that thing was excessive. So what I did was got my metal lathe up and running. This is actually the first time I've run my lathe probably in, God, it's got to be 3 or 4 years since I cranked it up. It was over in the other shop when I had all this equipment over there. By the way, this is my shop. It's 30 by 40. I do woodworking on the side. It's not my main occupation, but and then so I've got a small machining area over here. At some point in time I'm going to get my 1939 Bridgeport back up to where I can do metalworking on it. Got a little issue with the knee to where I can't do that, but my big Powermatic drill press, which is used for metalworking, and then kind of over, and then of course got my Craftsman Atlas lathe, which I just fixed today. So, but anyway, so what I did was went ahead and machined a new pin. This one's out of stainless steel. Machined that, and then I bored out, this was just a 1/2 inch hole that was originally bored through this. I thought it was bushed initially, but then I bored it out to 3/4 of an inch. I have no idea what that is in metric. And then made a brass bushing to go in there, ream the brass bushing so that then the new one fits nice and snug in there with minimal play. I think I've maybe got 1 or 2 thousandths worth of play in there. So that's going to be a drastic increase. The other headache I was running into, this is the actual pulley that goes to this tensioner. The bearing is seized up in it, and then also they've got a nylon bushing in it. Now the hole, I will admit, in this thing was drilled to 3/8 of an inch, so I'm sure the nylon bushing was probably factory, but with the bearing seized and this thing also being as big as it is, if things aren't perfect, it comes up and it'll hit on the bottom of the fender pan in the tractor grinding. And this thing was freshly repainted. Of course, Krylon paint sucks. I'm not going into that. Let's just put it this way: I returned 10 cans of Krylon paint I had set aside for other things. but it was grinding here. You can see where the grinding points are on that. So what I did, because the old deck, I'm gonna scrap it. I just got looking at it, actually, a little thorough alert today. Got a whole bunch of holes, big old holes through it, especially up around where all the pulleys and everything are. So I'm gonna take everything off of that thing that is usable, and then the rest of it I'm going to scrap. I can see where there's a bunch of parts on there I can use for some things that I've got in mind to do. But I took one of the pulleys off of it, and the bearing's good in it. Drilled the hole out on this arm to 1/2 inch, and I didn't have a true 1/2 inch bolt, so I've got a piece of all thread in there right now to make sure everything's going to work. But everything spins freely on this one and good. I didn't paint it. Maybe later I'll paint it. But so now this thing can be bolted back into the thing. I do have a shorter belt that I'm going to put on the thing, and I'm debating on, because I think the spring may be worn out that's on there, I'm going to pull that spring off, clean it up good, and maybe use that spring for this tensioner spring. It should work. So anyway, with that said, so as soon as the rain quits outside, right now it's raining like a cow peeing on a rock outside, so as soon as that slows down, me and the boys will head over to the house, and the tractor sitting in the garage over there, I'll bolt all this back on and put that new belt on and see if that solves my headache with trying to keep everything. If nothing else, I know with that smaller pulley, it's not going to hit the bottom of the deck anymore. So anyway, that's where I am for today.